This video was requested by a gentleman named Kenneth Taylor. He said he's trying to lose weight. Well, he said he lost weight, but he's trying to pretty much get a more muscular physique, and he wanted to know what my chest routine is. So I'm going to run through my chest routine. I'm not going to show the full workout, but just the exercises that I do. And yeah, you can pretty much copy it and try to do it. Okay, it's not easy. It's pretty intense, but yeah, let's get into it. All right, now this is an advanced workout. Feel free to tweak it however you want, but this is how I do it, okay? And I know usually people do flies last, but I do mine first in my routine, and there's a reason why. So I'm doing these flies, and the reason I'm doing them, not only to warm up, not only to stretch the muscle, but also to pre-fatigue the muscle. Okay, so I want to pre-fatigue the muscle. So we're gonna do the isolation moves first, and then we're gonna do compound moves last. So when I say compound moves, I mean like bench press and heavy dumbbell presses. But I do about 8 sets of these flies. Okay, so I use like a moderate weight. Probably using like not too heavy, probably like 100. And I'm just doing it till failure. Okay, and I did about 8 sets of these. I'm not gonna show all 8 sets because that would make a very boring video. Okay, so I'm just showing you a couple of sets that I do, but I do a lot of sets. Okay, a lot of sets. That's important. You don't want to just do 3 or 4 sets. That's not gonna cut it. Okay, I know a lot of guys go in the gym, they just want to do 3 or 4 sets, but I mean, if you really want to fatigue that muscle, okay, I'm doing dips right now, okay, but back to what I was saying. If you really want to fatigue that muscle, you gotta be doing like 8, 9, or 10 sets. I know that sounds ridiculous. I know it sounds crazy, but if you talk to the IFBB pros, the guys that compete, they'll tell you they do a ton of sets, okay? And even if you read like Arnold's encyclopedia, he used to do a ton of sets, like 8, 9, 10 sets, and that'll really fatigue the muscle, okay? And the more you stress the muscle, the more potential you have for growth. Okay, so I did 8 sets of the flies, and I did 8 sets of these dips. Usually I do weighted dips, but for this demonstration, I just didn't tie no weight. You see that weight belt on the right? Yeah, usually I tie that to my waist, but I'm just gonna do them unweighted just for this demonstration. And again, we're gonna pre-fatigue that muscle. So when we move to our compound moves, the muscle will be fatigued. Now, the nice thing about dips, you're not only getting a pec workout, but your triceps are being targeted as well. And as you grow stronger doing these, you can also use a weight belt. It's going to increase resistance and make it more challenging for you. All right, so you also asked me, what can you do for arms? Now, this isn't an arm workout, but I'm just going to show you one exercise, and that's hammer curls. So what I'm doing right now is called hammer curls, and you can alternate it like I'm doing now. It's whichever is more comfortable for you, but alternating is a bit easier. Or you can do both arms simultaneously like you see me doing. It's up to you. You don't gotta go too heavy, use a moderate weight. Stick to the 8 to 12 rep range, okay? 8 to 12 reps. And you want to do a lot of sets with these too, okay? Don't just do 3 or 4 sets. That's not enough. Trust me, when you do 8 sets, 8, 9, or 10 sets, you will feel it the next day. You will feel it the next day. And if you can't do 8 sets, I understand you're probably a beginner, but if you can't do 8 sets, just work your way up to 8 sets. So for example, start out at like maybe 5, then the next workout do 6, then progress from there, because I understand 8 is a lot for a beginner. So I mean, if you can't do it right away, just work your way up to it. But you have to do a lot of sets, okay? Because a lot of sets, that's going to burn calories, it's going to make you lean, and it's going to increase lean muscle as well. So there's a lot of benefits in doing a lot of sets. All right, so back to the chest routine. So I have 70-pound dumbbells, and I'm just warming up. Okay, so this is just a warm-up set. I'm warming up with 70s, and I do 2 sets of light warm-ups. All right, so now we're gonna move into the heavy weights. Okay, so 120. I'm not saying you gotta do 120, but you want to use something heavy. You want to use a challenging weight. So with this weight, I'm already pre-fatigued, so I can't do that many reps. Okay, so I'm gonna stick to the 8 to 12 rep range. And that was the reason for us pre-fatiguing the muscle when we did those flies and when we did those dips. Okay, because the muscle's fatigued, so we're not going to be at 100% strength. We're going to struggle with these heavy weights, and that's exactly what you want. All right, so, and do 8 sets of these too. Okay, I did 8 sets, but I'm not going to show all 8 sets because, again, that will make a very long and boring video, and you can do that on your own. Okay, but now if you're able to do more reps than the desired rep range, then the weight you're using is too light. Now I said do 8 to 12 reps. So if you can do 13, 14, or 15 reps, the weight is too light. So you need to increase your weight. Increase your weight by 5 or 10 pounds. That way you can get the desired rep range. So again, I did 8 sets of these. I'm gonna show you another set that I did, and then we're gonna move to the heavy bench press. But again, this is an advanced workout, okay? Because in most cases, guys will start out with the heavy bench or the heavy dumbbell presses. But again, by you pre-fatiguing that muscle and doing these last, you're gonna get better results by doing that. Okay, trust me. Now, as far as rest breaks, I take 2 to 3 minutes, so up to 3 minutes. And as far as the workout itself, I don't go beyond an hour. And I know it's a lot of work we're doing here, but I try to expedite my workout. I don't like to be in the gym for freaking 2 hours or 2.5 hours. So usually I can get it all done within an hour. Because honestly, you don't want to work out for 2 hours because you're going to overtrain, okay? You're going to put your body in a catabolic state, and we don't want that. We want to remain anabolic so we can gain lean muscle. But if you overtrain and put your body in a catabolic state, you're going to be losing muscle, okay? Your cortisol level is going to rise and it's going to break down muscle pretty much. So we don't want to overtrain, and I think within 1 hour, that's the sweet spot, okay? Because this is already an intense workout. So if you go too long with this workout, then yeah, you're going to overtrain yourself. I mean, unless you're on gear, okay, or you're juicing, then you can overtrain and nothing's gonna happen. But we're not juicing, so yeah, our bodies can't handle that. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the bench press. Now for the bench, we're gonna load it up with 315, so 345s on each side, so that's gonna be 315 pounds. Now again, I'm not saying you gotta do 315, okay? Just use a weight that allow you to get 8 to 12 reps. Okay, and I got my cameraman recording. But anyway, I'm gonna do about 8 to 12 reps. Okay, and I do these last, so I do these after the dumbbell presses. And you can already see that I'm struggling with it, and that's how it's supposed to be, because we pre-fatigue that muscle so much. Okay, all the exercises we've done, that muscle is fatigued, so yeah, it's gonna stress that muscle out a lot more. All right, now as a quick recap, we started off with flies, then we did dips. Now for both of those, we did 8 sets and we stuck to the 8 to 12 rep range. I know I threw in an arm exercise, but that's not part of this workout. I just threw in an arm exercise because you asked me about it, but let's leave the arm exercise out. So after the dips, we did our dumbbell presses, and that was 8 sets as well with 8 to 12 reps. Then after that, we did the bench press, 8 sets, 8 to 12 reps. Now with this muscle group, I usually stick to the 8 to 12 rep range, but it varies with each muscle. Okay, so for example, if I'm training a different body part, it's not always going to be 8 to 12 reps. But for chest, I like to stick to that rep range, 8 to 12. And another thing I meant to mention, take each set to failure, okay? Take each set to failure. That's very important. If you want to grow, each set you need to fail. So what I mean by that is, once your muscles fatigue and you can't do no more, then yeah, that's what you need to be doing. I didn't have a spotter, so I had to be kind of careful here, you know, but if you have a spotter, even better, because, you know, on the bench press, you can fail and your spotter will get the weight up off you, you know. But if you're just working out by yourself, you gotta be a little more cautious. But yeah, so a lot of sets, and taking each set to failure. That's what's gonna make you lean, and that's what's gonna help you increase lean muscle. Okay, that's very important. And again, just doing 3 to 4 sets, that's not gonna cut it. You're just wasting your time. But I guarantee you, when you start doing 8 sets, you're gonna feel it the next morning. Okay, and when you feel that soreness, that means you actually did something in the gym. All right, because you talk to the pros, that's how they do it. And this advanced technique that I just shared with you by pre-fatiguing the large muscle group, because chest is a large muscle group. So by us doing the flies and the dips first and pre-fatiguing that muscle, and then we hit it with heavy weights, yes, that's going to take your progress to a whole new level. Now again, when I say failure, because a lot of people get confused when I tell them this, but when I say failure, I said 8 to 12 reps. So when I say take it to failure, I mean you should be failing within those 8 to 12 reps. Okay, so let's say if you're doing dumbbell presses and you can only get 9 reps, all right, then you failed. You can't do no more. Okay, if you can only barely get 10, then you failed. Okay, that's what you want. If you can barely get 11, then you failed. Okay, but if you can get 13 or 14, then the weight's too light. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, because a lot of guys get confused with that. But that's what I mean when I say take it to failure. And trust me, again, you're gonna feel it the next morning. Okay, and I switch up these workouts every few months because your body will adapt and you'll hit a plateau. So pretty much your body will adapt to the workout and your progress will kind of slow up a little bit. Okay, so every few months I switch up these workouts because you want to keep your body guessing. Okay, because your body will adapt, and like I said, you'll hit a plateau and you won't get the gains that you want. But by you switching up your workouts every few months, pretty much you're tricking your body into new growth, okay, into better results. All right, but that's the routine. So thanks for the request, and I hope it helped you. If you have any other questions, feel free to hit me up. Peace.